Going? So good morning, welcome back. We did not have a seminar in January, but we did have a field trip. Who went on that field trip? And how, was that good or what? Yes. I still can't figure out the do not disturb on my phone. So we went to the Apple store. That was really great. Why did we do that? Because with the holiday, book club would have been on that first Thursday, but that was the first. So they took the second Thursday, which is our day, and instead of like bumping us all around, I said, let's just go on a field trip. And so we did, and it was really fun. I think we should do more of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was
We
really
need to do it again.
I still can't figure it out. You know, in fact, I switched carriers on my phone, and did you know that you have to reset up your voicemail? People are calling me, and you finally get me. You know, it says your thing's not set up. Oh. Anyway, so I did that. Anyways, welcome. This is the Aging with Grace Retired Living Senior Seminar series that we do every month. We do it on the second Thursday of the month. We always start right at 10 o'clock. And I love it when you sign up because, you know, all last year I threw away so many papers because I was trying to count for people who come or walk in or whatever. And it's kind of annoying that we're throwing away papers. So I have lots of notepads. That's what it turned into. But it'd be great if we signed up, and if we signed up the day before at least. So make sure your email's there. We do send out emails. If you don't get it, check your spam because I do it. And then I also do, I send out a voicemail reminder. It's automated, so if you think I signed up and you know you signed, don't worry. It's just something that goes out to everybody as a reminder. Because I want to get people here because we have really good information. We have a really great year planned ahead for 2026. If you saw over there, we have refrigerator magnets now, so grab one and put it on your fridge so that you know. I put the hotline number down there and the website. The hotline number, it's just a voicemail, so just put your name on it, say I want to come to whatever seminar, and my VA will get it and add you to the list. We're going to get better about confirming you too, so if you have signed up, we'll call and confirm. But you know, one woman show over here, so we're doing the best we can with what we have. Yes. So anyways, some of you know me, most of you know me, some of you don't, but I've told my story a lot, why I do this and why I think it's important. I had a lot of adversity in my family. I had a lot of probate, and every time I had to go sell a house, those agents saw me as nothing more than a walking paycheck and had no tools to help me. I mean, I had some really serious situations. And so when I moved to Florida, I said, I'm gonna get my license, I'm gonna help people. And I did. And then I realized after 6 years, why are people still going to probate? It's the worst thing to do. So I got more education, and we started these seminar series because the more knowledge we have, the more power we have. And the more informed we are, the better decisions we can make. So that's how this was born, this whole seminar series. And every month we bring in a panel of experts because I am not the expert, but I do know a lot of them, and we come in and we talk about different things. Last year we voted on what we wanted for this year, so I hope you see the things that you voted for on this little sheet. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Medicare, and we have two experts. We're going to talk about mostly Medicare, a little Social Security. We have Bea Scaffidi and Bill. He's a Medicare expert, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get to all of our questions. Oh, and if we could, maybe, I thought of something. If we could try to write our questions down and ask them at the end of the Q&A, it'll just help keep the flow going better. And if you have something very specific, maybe we can save that for after to ask one of the people. Okay? So, go ahead, Bill.
So if you didn't want to try my last name, it's Archambeau, like Bryson DeChambeau, Bill Archambeau, okay? Or just Bill, that's fine. And so I'm with Apollo Insurance Agency. We're out of Kansas City, and so we are an independent agency, and I'm looking forward to answering a lot of questions for you and give you some advice. But I've been doing insurance for about 6 years. I sold medicine for about 17 years. I did senior living for 5 years, electronic medical records for about 5 years. I got a lot of different experiences, and so I'm really well-rounded. I really try to give advice to individuals like they're a family member. I try to give you advice to protect you financially, and everyone is individual. So there's no one answer for everyone. So when I try to answer questions, I'm gonna kind of like defer, well, what do you need, Pat? What do you need, Bill? And so everyone is individual. But I'm really looking forward to getting to know you and answer some questions. And I only brought my business card, and I'm always available. Just give me a call. I am the senior manager. I may be busy when you call. Give me a voicemail. I will call you back. Okay? I always will call you back. So please just do that. But I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys. Thank you.
Okay, Bea. My name is Bea Scaffidi, and I've been in healthcare for 40 years in Palm Beach County. I've done all kinds of things. I started out as a nurse's aide, and then went on to got my nursing license, and I've done marketing and sales. I've worked in hospitals, assisted livings, and what else? Did home health. I did all kinds of things, and worked in a nursing home for many years. So I saw this job on LinkedIn. I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. I know a lot about Medicare. I can go around and tell everybody about Medicare. Well, I did it, and I love my job. And so I didn't know about Shine, and I've been in healthcare 40 years in Palm Beach County, okay? This is really sad. So my mission is to get out there and tell everybody about what Shine can do. I spoke to a nice lady here, Barbara, who used Shine before. Shine means serving the health insurance needs of the elders. It's a free federal program. We're unbiased and confidential. We do counseling for Medicare, Medicaid, fraud. We do fraud. If you've been frauded, we help you manage that plan, and we take that complaint up to the Federal Trade Commission as well as the Office of Attorney General. We also do complaints and appeals with Shine. So if you have a bill that you keep getting, you don't think you owe, or you really know you don't owe, or you got your plan says you pay $65 and they're billing you $85, we want to know about that, because we're going to bring that plan to the forefront and make sure this gets cleared up on the machine, on their website. Okay, we want to make sure if they tell you the copay is $20 and you get there $20, okay, and we can help you make that come to the Medicare site and help you grab, if nobody else gets that, just like I did. What else did I want to tell you about Shine? Again, we're free and unbiased. Our mission is all Floridians to live well and age well. And we do counseling by appointments, and that's by the phone, or we have an in-person one, Barbara, that goes to the North County Senior Center once a week. So if you want to appoint with Barbara, you would call the helpline, get an appointment with Barbara, and go sit with her for an hour. Barbara's been doing this for 17 years. She's amazing. These counselors do it out of the goodness of their heart, and they can really be helpful. So if you have a question, just bring your paperwork to Barbara, and she can help you, and you can get it cleared up. Okay.
Awesome. That's
Okay.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to kind of start with B.
Okay.
Let's set the foundation. Let's get clear, because I don't know all this stuff. So let's all get clear on what Medicare is, original Medicare, Medicare Advantage, and Medicare Supplement Plus.
Okay. So we say Medicare is two paths, right? There's two paths for Medicare. You have original Medicare, or you have the Medicare Advantage plan, right? So there's two paths for us, right? So I consider the original Medicare like an a la carte. So you got to get original Medicare, you're going to have the A, you're going to have B, and you're going to have D for drugs, and then you need a Medigap plan. So Medicare is typically an 80-20 plan, right? Medicare pays 80, and you're responsible for 20. The Medigap that you have to buy separately by a third-party provider is what covers the 20%. Now, if you get a Medicare Advantage plan, an HMO PPO, right? HMO, Health Maintenance Organization, or a PPO provider organization, you would have it all together in one thing, right? And actually, they have sometimes extra benefits, maybe dental or vision. Now, we all know with the PPO and HMO, you're limited with your providers, right? They have a participating provider, and you're limited with that. HMO, you may even need a referral. I see a lot of times you get to doctor's offices, and there's a person in the waiting room, and the doctor didn't get the referral, right? So that's kind of stressful for everybody. So the Shine counselor can help you decide whether Medicare Advantage or original Medicare is the best course for you. And they do that by just going through your health concerns, who your primary care doctor. The best thing we want you to know is if you decide on a managed care plan or Medicare Advantage plan, Part C, they also call that, that your doctor takes it, right? and don't rely on a book. Make sure you call the doctor and make sure the doctor takes it. Not only your primary care, but maybe you're a specialist. Maybe you have an endocrinologist you see or a cardiologist that you see. Make sure all those doctors take the plan if you're going to choose a Medicare Advantage plan, right? At this time of the year, speaking of, is that another question? Okay. So anyway, those are the difference between original Medicare and a Medicare Advantage plan, right?
Okay, so what changes are we seeing coming in 2026?
So yes, 2026, I have this handy little printout over there if you'd like one, okay? So we all know about the drug negotiation prices, right? There's 10 new drugs they negotiated that are going to be lower cost this year, right? Those are Eliquis, Jardiance, Xarelto, Januvia, Farxiga, Entresto, Enbrel, Imbruvica, Solera, and Novolog. So those are the drugs this year that are on the special RX plan. Those drugs are going to be typically 58% less than the normal rate. And so that's the one thing, the new drug list. That's really great. The other thing is the part of the OBB, that one big beautiful bill, there's going to be different eligibility for Medicare. And that difference is going to be, you can only get Medicare if you have a green card holder, you are a Cuban or Haitian, or you're part of the Compact Free Association.
Excuse me, Medicare or Medicaid?
Medicare. So they're changing the Medicare eligibilities. So only the people that can get it now are Cuban, Haitian, the green card holders. So that being said, the people that are not going to be, if you have it currently, you're allowed to stay on it, but these are new enrollees for Medicare. Now, they're saying that's going to affect maybe out of 67 million people that have Medicare in America, that's going to affect maybe 100,000 people. So 100,000 people may not be able to get Medicare, okay? Telehealth is one thing that they're changing too. Medicare is not going to allow as much telehealth. They will allow it for psychology if you live rurally. They found there was rampant fraud in telehealth, so they're not allowing as much telehealth in the Medicare, original Medicare I'm speaking about, right? Original Medicare. There is one called a temporary special enrollment period. That's a change this year. If you've used, anybody have a Medicare.gov login? Medicare.gov login, yes? There is a way, I have a sheet over there on how to get one. If you don't have one, I really recommend it, because if you have original Medicare, you can go in there and see all your claims and everything, right? So that's perfect. You put your medications in there and they stay right there from year to year. If you use the Medicare.gov to pick a plan and the plan and the information in that plan was wrong, they will allow you to choose a new plan if you use that site. The other thing, I do have lecture. So there's another one called the Wasteful and Inappropriate Service Reduction Model. So certain states, and you're gonna really think this is crazy, certain states, New Jersey, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona, and Washington, are starting to use prior authorizations for some procedures. And those procedures are like nerve tract injections, epidurals, real high profile things, not, going to the doctor and get an x-ray, okay? But those 6 states are gonna do a model where they're gonna see if, like when you go to a regular doctor, like if I have to go get a CT, I may need prior authorization for a tier level 2 or something like that. They're gonna need prior authorization for electrical stim thing. That's really what's happening differently in Medicare this year. Other than that, as far as the co-pays and deductibles, that's all changing. That changes every year. I have a sheet about that over there. So premium changed to $202.90. We know that our Part B went to $202.90, right, this year for Part B coinsurance. Benefit for the benefit period for Part A deductibles $1,736, but Medigap usually covers that. Most people have a Medigap. So those are the changes for that.
Part D also went up to a $2,100 deductible, maximum out of pocket. And with Part D plans, and usually on a Medicare Advantage, the maximum of the deductible is like $615. Now the big shift this year is that 77% of beneficiaries now are going to hit that deductible. So you'll find that paying medicine, you're having to spend more money on your medicine. More people are having to get into that deductible. last year and the year before, a lot of times your medicine was zero. But this year, you're having to, pay a little bit more money. So that has shifted. As I said, 77% of beneficiaries are now having to pay more for the medicine and getting into that deductible. So that's a change this year.
And everything has gone up, right?
Right.
Everything in the world.
Everything's gone up.
The only other thing that Medicare is now covering a CT colonoscopy. Instead of, you don't have to get a colonoscopy, you can get a CT, and Medicare will cover that, and that's good for 24 months. Okay, so your colonoscopy is good for 10 years, right? They say, right? Depending on what what the first depending on what the first one says, right? This one, the CT is only good for 2 years. Okay, but Medicare will cover that now.
Every 2 years?
Every 2 years.
Okay, so we want to do everything right. What are some mistakes that people make when they're signing up or not even just signing up, when handling their Medicare and their insurance?
Mistakes. Well, I was just telling Bill about a nice lady I talked to yesterday that got talked into. We all came out of Florida for, it's now Health Springs, and it came out of Florida as of January 1, and this woman needed a new Part D plan. So she was at the VFW, and this nice gentleman that's there, she went up to ask him what's a good Part D plan. And he signed her up for Humana PPO plan. So the middle of January, she went to get her ILEA, the injections you get for your macular degeneration, and her insurance didn't cover it. So I really want you to look at the plans and make sure that you know what you're getting into when you sign up for things. She just mistakenly, she had no intention of turning to a Medicare Advantage plan, no intention. So now I'm trying to get her back on. She has original Medicare again as of February 1, but she does not have a Medigap plan. And so now we have to make sure she gets on a Medigap plan. And we all know if we get off our Medigap plan and we want to go back on it, it's a third-party provider and you are subject to underwriting. And the plans can go into your health record, and it doesn't, when I turn 65, shortly, I'm really looking forward to it, want to retire and get Medicare. And I will be able to get a Medigap plan. The first 6 months for guaranteed issue right, but after that, you have no guarantee, and they can charge you whatever they want, barring your health concerns. So my problem, and I think every year we have to review what plan we have, because every year your plans change. I have a lot of people that are Medigap plan. So they say if you're on an F, never change, right? But I worked with this nice lady, and she was at the Council on Aging in St. Lucie, and she had a plan that covered foreign travel, and she wasn't going on a trip. So we really need to look at that. Even if you have a Medigap plan and you love it, just review it and make sure you're in the right plan. And Bill can help, or a Shine counselor can help.
I think a lot of people respond to their phone. They see something about getting an extra $40 for groceries, and they, oh, that looks great, and all of a sudden, hello, they're on the phone.
Yeah.
And they're talking to someone, oh, that sounds fine. And the person on the phone did not take any kind of consideration for the doctor that you're seeing, the specialist that you have to have, the medicines that you're taking, and all of a sudden you're in a plan that is giving you a $40 card for groceries or whatever it was, but it has totally destroyed the health care that you needed.
Yeah.
And so I always say, talk to an agent, find an agent, stick with that agent. That agent would have, or if you do it yourself, stick with that, because your medicine is in the system, and trust yourself. But have one person, and don't fall for that stuff. Don't go for that stuff, because it just gets you off track. And that's really what messes up a lot of people. And luckily, you have 30 days to get back on that supplement.
Right.
The agent would know that and help you with that kind of stuff, because I help people all the time get back from someone who, whoops, I did something, Bill, can you help me? Yeah.
I had a gal, cognitive impairment, went for first cataract eye surgery, and then her healthcare plan called her and upsold her on a downgraded plan. So when we went to do the second eye, they wouldn't approve it, so the insurance doesn't cover it anymore. So between myself and the care manager, we had to go to bat and fight to get that changed back for her. I mean, it just baffles me how unscrupulous people can be. So it is a good idea to have a counselor, have an agent like Bill, and that's why we have the two of them here today, because Bea is out, she knows about all the things, but Bill is the practical guy who's there getting you signed up for that stuff and seeing it too. So it's two sectors of the market. The whole goal is to have you be protected, because this poor gal, if she was left to her own devices and didn't have us, it would have been a disaster, you know? So anyways, that's
Another man signed up for Aetna on the phone. Someone called him. He was cognitively impaired. He signed up for Aetna. His wife, he shouldn't answer the phone. Signed up, and he already had original Medicare and everything all set up with his wife. So now he couldn't even go to the therapy he wanted because his Aetna ended up being primary. It really is a mess.
Yeah.
So never say yes on the phone. Never.
yeah, always say, you know, I want to think, well, you
Yeah.
guys would do
Yeah,
that.
I know.
But someone who's cognitively impaired, they're like, yeah,
That sounds great. Give back plan.
Anyway, okay, back on track. So that's that. Prescription drug coverage. How does that factor into your Medicare decision, and what should people be reviewing each year?
So yes, Bill's right about the changes in Part D and the costs and things. I really think when people turn 65, sometimes, you know, they don't take any medications, right? So they don't get on the Part D plan at that time, because I don't take any medicine. Well, Bill can tell you that's a big problem, because some of those plans out there are even zero premiums, okay? Because later on, when you want to get on the D plan, you will pay a penalty, 10% per year that you didn't get on that plan.
Uh-oh.
So yes, you have to do, and this year it's $38.99 this year, plus the 10%. So you're going to be paying that the rest of your Medicare life because you didn't sign up timely. So make sure you signed up for the Part D plan timely.
Delta.
D for Delta, yeah, D for drugs, I say.
D for drugs.
D for drugs, yeah. Sign up for that Part D plan when you turn 65, or you retire, right? Because we all know we're working later. We're working a lot past 65 now, right? My full retirement is 67 and a half. So we're all working a little further to get that full Social Security. So this happens a lot. And I do a lot of seminars for people, you know, in employee situations, because they don't get the correct information. They do not get the correct information when they turn 65.
Well, there's a lot to know. I mean, we're managing all these things, and then you've got this healthcare, and that's changed, and you know, it's a lot. So we're here to help each other. If someone's health changes unexpectedly, how can the type of Medicare plan they choose impact their access to care?
Well, if you end up breaking a hip, right, and you're in the hospital, total hip repair, and you're going to go to a skilled nursing facility, right? So your choices in skilled nursing facility are limited, right? Because you have the managed care plan or the Medicare Advantage plan. Certain facilities take certain plans. Now, we all know I broke my ankle in July, and it ended up
We were waiting for you.
Yes, and poor Sean, but your boyfriend came to see me, so that was good. But so you don't know what's going to happen. You really just don't. But at this time of your life, you really have to make good decisions, seeing the unforeseen circumstances that might happen in your life. Those, even with home health, right? You might be limited to home health when you have certain plans. I really want you to look at that. I want you to review your plan every year too. And like Bill said, it's a personal choice. We're just going to give recommendations and recommend the best plan for you.
Most Medicare Advantage plans do have some home health. You have to have less than 8 hours a day, less than 35 hours a week. It has to be medically necessary. Your doctor has to write the script for it to happen. You just can't say, boy, I want help, right? Okay, my father's 92 years old. He's tired. He wants hospice, right? He's getting evaluated yesterday for it. But he's got a good heart. My great-grandma lived to 102. So Dad may want hospice, but he's too healthy. He's tired. So he needs help. So he can get help, right? So there are those things that you can do, but you have to know your summary of benefit on your plan. You have to be educated. That summary of benefit tells you your benefits. When you said about your copay, you go into an office and you're expecting $20, and little Sally says that'll be $40, ma'am. Au contraire, it's $20. It says it right here in my book. Oh, well, the doctor now charges $40. Well, I pay $20. Know your rights. You need to know your stuff, and sometimes you get taken advantage of. The doctors change their mind, they charge you some things. Well, know what? You have to know what your plan says. You have to know when you go into the pharmacy, you pay $47, not $200. You know your medicine is on the formulary, okay? And so you have to know some things sometimes. Protect yourself.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now we're kind of shifting to Bill. When you're helping seniors review their plans, what personal factors matter most? Their health, their medications, their travel, their budget? I mean, how, there's no one size fits all,
Right.
so what's the most important thing?
So when I talk to a new individual, I ask them, bless you, I ask them, what's happening in your life? What are you doing? Are you traveling? Oh, I just retired. Bless you again. One more time. So yeah, I just retired, gonna get into a camper and travel all over the place. Okay, well that person may need a supplement at that point. And because that person just turned 65, they do get this supplement with no medical underwriting. Doesn't matter that the gentleman just had some kind of cancer 6 months ago. Doesn't matter, they don't look at that. So he can get in at that point with no medical underwriting. That's a good thing. And because they're traveling, no problem, okay, to get that kind of care. But it really depends on what is happening for the individual. Health-wise, I took care of a couple moving from New York over to Kansas City. The wife was dealing with breast cancer, had to have a certain specialist. And particularly Humana was the strongest access to this cancer center in Kansas City. Well, we ended up going with a particular carrier that had access to a particular oncologist. That cancer center was gung-ho with Humana, because that's where the least path of resistance was to get her coverage and to get her the care for that oncologist. So that's again, it's the priority of that individual at that time. What was the greatest need? Some people say, hey, I don't have $3,000 for some dentures, and that's what I really need. I can't eat. And so if the plan, Medicare Advantage plan, does not say the word dentures, you're not going to get dentures paid for. It can say prosthodontics, but if it doesn't say dentures, it won't pay. So very, very specific wording. You got to make sure that's there. So as an agent, I'm looking to go see the plan benefits of all those different carriers, of all those different plans. HMOs tend to have less maximum out-of-pocket spend, so it protects you more financially, more benefits, but more restrictions on you to go see the doctors. A PPO plan allows you to go pick up a phone, call up a cardiologist, but it costs the carrier more money to manage that plan, because here you are calling the doctor yourself. As compared to the HMO, where you have to go through the primary care. The primary care doctor will say, here's a referral to the cardiologist. So they control the cost more. The PPO is going to have more of a higher maximum out of pocket, right? So you pay for access to those doctors. So that's more of the health care. Medications are a big deal. They're so expensive nowadays. They really are. But you can really do such a good job of just making sure that your medicine is available. There's so many other places to get it. Mark Cuban's company, costplus.com. Please write that down. Costplus.com. For a copay.
Is that a plus or a PLUS?
PLUS. Yeah, costplus.com. You can type in your medicine, the dosage, the tablet, put in 90 days. You can probably get 90 days for $16 as compared to a $20 copay for 1 month.
Wow.
You save a lot of money.
That was worth the price of admission, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we don't charge.
You save a lot of money. Now, the carrier wants you to buy through them at Walgreens, CVS, because that's where they're going to make a little money. You're a senior living on a budget. CostPlus.com.
Wow.
Good RX.
Yeah. I even heard Amazon too. We'll see.
Amazon too. Trump just had some come out
Trump
too.
X.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't trust your plan. Do some research
Right.
and look around. It could be cheaper someplace else. You know, you could just get cheaper someplace else.
You know, and on budget, if budget's the main thing, I've had very wealthy individuals want just be protected financially, low maximum out of pocket. They want to maximize the benefits, high dental, high vision, whatever it was, and they had chronic illness. Hey, great, I'll find you a plan, no problem. It all depends on the individual needs. I do a full needs, agents, not me, agents do a full needs analysis. Medicine, doctors, hospital, dental, vision, hearing, what is it that you need? And they try to find a plan that meets your needs. Independent, they carry 8, 10, 12 different carriers, so not beholden to one. If you call a Humana agent, guess what plan you're gonna get? Bad.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Get an independent person. I have 30 different supplements, 8 different carriers.
Humana may be the best plan for you.
Right,
But
if it
you
comes
don't
up,
know.
terrific.
You know, there may be maybe that doctor around there, Kaviva really is your favorite
Right.
doctor.
But just not loyal.
Well, that's how I met Bill, because I needed health insurance and
Yeah.
I'm healthy and so I was talking with the agent. He was so nice and so lovely when I was telling him what I do. And he said, oh, I got a guy that specializes in Medicare and I think he's right by you. So he put Bill and I in touch. So we met last week and I said, I've been having, I was like pulling teeth trying to get someone in here to talk about Social Security with you. But anyways, so I got Bill and I thought that's gonna be a great compliment because he can be an advocate for you too. So that's how we all come together in our small world. Okay, so one thing we have here a lot is snowbirds. So how would like a provider network impact their care for specialists, hospital systems, snowbirds, and anybody taken off in their RV, which you're gonna have all your medications and your history written down, right? Where someone can get it when you're in your RV. That was one of our seminars too.
The only experience I've had where people have gone to visit a family member in Texas and had just recently had ENT surgery and wanted to see a physician there, but the physician here, the preferred provider, whose primary physician, wouldn't give a referral to see a person in Texas. So that's the only thing that I've really seen, that you're not going to be able to see a doctor. If you have an HMO here, then the HMO is not going to allow you to see a doctor in another state.
No.
So you got to look, maybe a PPO, that might be worth it, but not an HMO. So that's the only thing. If you think you're going to travel, or you spend a month with this son and a month with that daughter, or you are a snowbird, the HMO would probably not be the best plan for you.
So it could be like you're here, you have your primary care doctors here, and you're going to go visit your child in Texas for a month, and you have all your medicine with you, and you're running out of your medicine. So you say, hey doc, can you send a prescription down to the CVS down the corner, and they'll send a prescription, you're fine. And if you're not feeling well, there's an urgent care clinic. You have a benefit to go see that urgent care clinic, okay? And if you break your leg, you go to the ER, you get taken care of, and you go home, right? And if you need a surgery, you go back to Palm Beach Gardens and you get your surgery. So that's the HMO. The PPO says, okay, if you go out to Texas and you want to say, you know what, I really want to see a doctor out here, you call up that doctor in El Paso and you say, hey, I have this plan. I see you don't take this care. Would you accept payment? I do have a PPO. They're on network, and the doctor says yes or no. Most times they're gonna say yes because the PPO reimburses that doctor at a higher rate than the HMO. Okay, so this hospital systems. I got a guy from Broward who came up to Fort Pierce. He's in my area in Fort Pierce. He went to my doctor, Dr. Gottfried in Fort Pierce, great doctor, internal medicine guy, and he's an HCA doctor. HCA said no Humana HMO. Why? HMOs reimburse lower than PPOs. So HSA made a financial decision, we're not gonna take that anymore. So he needed a switch. Well, he moved, but because his plan was not yet in effect, I was able to get him into a PPO. So I got him into a PPO real quick. He's all good to go. So doctors and hospital systems make a financial decision not to be in certain plans. And I want to say, I tell my clients, you have to make a financial decision sometimes. If your doctor says, you know what, I don't take that plan anymore, Bob. Well, I may not be able to see you anymore, Dr. Smith, because this plan works out for me financially. Oh, you went to be a VIP doctor who wants $1,500 to $2,000? I love you, my friend, but I can't do that. I didn't plan for that in my retirement. I'll see you at a party.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you have to protect yourself that way. Snowbirds, you know, if you can do, you can be, I had a 78-year-old go into a supplement the other day. You can do that, and the plan can either say yes or no to them if you pass medical underwriting. It's either, you know, yes or no, and you're not going to be, it's either preferred or standard pricing, and if you can afford, terrific. But you can get into that when you're 78 years old. If you just had cancer, probably not, you know, but you can get into a supplement. It is definitely more expensive, but if you're traveling and doing that, that's terrific. I'm going to be 65 in June. I'm going to probably go into a high deductible G, because in Florida, a G for me is around $230, which is a little bit expensive. In Arizona, it's $167
Wow.
for a 68-year-old. That's wrong. We pay a lot here.
We do.
I wonder, why is that? Why do you think that is?
I understand it's a bit of the fraud that was in Miami for a bit.
We've
There's
talked
that.
about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a man complain he'd moved from North Carolina here, and his Medigap was twice as much money.
Wow.
Twice as much money, and he wondered why.
Yeah.
And so right now, I will tell you that the CMS, Centers for Medicare Medicaid, are coming to do outreach in South Florida, Broward and Miami. They're coming just to do that, to go into large HUD housing places, like, you know, supplemental housing in Miami and Broward, just because of that. They're coming to South Florida in the next 6 months, twice a week, twice a month. Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Okay. What, and maybe this is kind of what you talked about, but if people wanted to have flexibility in their plan, can they have flexibility, or do certain things lock them into?
I think Medicare already built some flexibility. There are 28 separate special election codes that agents have to use to enroll you in different plans, and depending on what's happening in your life.
They can move, right?
Right now we're in the open enrollment period. You have to be enrolled currently in a Medicare Advantage plan to change. So here it is in February, and you go to your doctor, and the doctor tells you, hey, I'm not in network anymore. Or the medicine that you're taking is really not on formulary anymore, and you didn't know that. Or you enrolled in a different plan from an agent, and now you're starting to use that plan, and you say, well, I don't like this plan. I don't like the customer service. No, I'm gonna go back to what I was doing. And you say, okay, so you have that ability to change. So you have that opportunity.
To the end of March.
To the end of March, right.
Mm-hmm. To the end of March. It's open enrollment for Medicare Advantage right now. You can change to another plan.
Right.
I call it, oops, I made a mistake.
Right.
To
Open
another
enrollment,
plan.
right. So you have that, but there's things that allow you to do that.
Yes.
And you know, you leave the country for 5, 6 months, you're over there and you come back, you know, you turn off Medicare, you come back, you turn it back on again. Yep, you can do it again. Okay? All of a sudden you get diagnosed with diabetes. That's a chronic illness. That's a trigger. That's a special election period. Okay? If you didn't have, let's say you're in a regular HMO PPO plan and you have diabetes, but you're not in a chronic illness plan, you can do that once a year. Or if you get diagnosed with a different chronic illness that's identified, you can then do another enrollment. Again, talk to your agent and have a plan.
Or a Shine counselor.
Or Shine counselor.
They can also help
Conjunction with
yeah.
that, right. I
They
love
can
the
help you
fact that
things.
they help you fight stuff.
We do. And I just want to say one thing, a lot of times people want me to help them, but they have no documentation. They don't know when they spoke to the Medicare agent, they don't know when they talked to Social Security, they don't know who they talked to. Just write a little note down in a notebook or something and make sure you know who you talked to and when. It needs a lot of credibility in that. When I have to fight for you, if I had that little information, it really goes a long way.
Yeah, I would like Bea on my side for
Yeah,
sure.
it goes a long way.
So that brings me up to the next question, and we have a real life example of someone. What Medicare plans interact with long-term health needs, such as rehabilitation, skilled nursing, or home health care? Now this gal, she fell and broke a hip, and the hospital sent her home with home health care after 3 days. So,
And she
yeah.
lives at home alone? She's
Well,
alone?
thankfully, she has a son who's visiting right now, so,
She's a single family home? I'm talking like
Yeah.
a home health nurse now. A single family home?
yes. Yeah, there's home health coming in, but it was so bungled that
Mhm.
it was like 3 or 4 days until someone came.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
As a former discharge planner, I would have, chosen a home health agency that I work with a lot and say, make sure you see, Sean today or early tomorrow morning because she really needs help, right?
Yeah.
We got to help her. That's where you can say to the discharge planner when you're leaving the hospital, is this person, when am I gonna, usually it's a 48 hour. You have to see somebody in 48 hours. But sometimes if you have a different plan, Humana has their own home health agency, one at home, so they make their own rules.
That's who it would be.
Yeah, they make their own rules.
Yes.
I had a neighbor that got sent home, knew a diabetic, and didn't know how to give an insulin shot. And nobody came. So, her daughter called me, and I'm like, all right, I'll go over and help her. But like, it's sad because it falls through the cracks sometimes. It really does.
The squeaky wheel gets oiled.
Right. And,
Right.
yes, I really think she had an option to go to skilled nursing, I'm sure, but chose not to, right?
Yeah, I think she did want to go home. I thought it would be better. I always think that it was better, especially with someone in that situation, because you're going around now in a walker, and you need to cook, you need to shower, you need to do things, and the house was not set up, and no one went before to check that. So here I was, thankfully, in my storage locker in my community. One of the residents who left didn't take their little commode that goes over the toilet that has the handle, so I brought that. I had an extra walker because the one she had wasn't good. So that was all in there. See what happened?
It takes a village.
I knew there was a reason this stuff is left here. So I got her set up with all that, and then, there's still other things that need to happen, but at least they're coming now.
Yes.
But she only gets like 10 visits or something.
Yeah, and when in the skilled nursing facility, it does depend on your insurance, how many visits you get. If you have, if you have, it could be 45 minutes, it could be an hour, but you're still getting therapy once a day, right? If you're able to do that. And, some people just don't like to. I always felt cognitively impaired people felt better at home. That transition from the hospital to the nursing home to the home, it just made it worse, right? Going home would probably be the better choice. My superiors didn't feel like that, like I felt sometimes. But they wanted everybody to come to the nursing home, and I just felt sometimes it was better off they went home. But I just told the family that. But no, and you have to look at those things. Where do you live? Do you live in a 2-story home? Is a single family? But I'd just be more communicative with the discharge planner and let them know your limitations at home.
Well, sometimes I think people don't think there are limitations at home because they're still in the mindset of I'm able-bodied, I was getting around, except now you're not. You're on the walker. You can't stand and cook. You might be able to heat something in the microwave. I don't think we think about, now getting dressed is taking an hour. So she needs dressing help. She needs dating help, and so there's been a lot of advocacy for her.
Good.
But are those things that Medicare cover? What does Medicare cover if you have an event like that?
Again, it's the medical need. Did the doctor write the script to have that happen? Again, it's the under 8 hours, under 35 hours for the week.
Okay.
But it is there. It is written in there for home health. Medicare Advantage plans have that.
Okay.
And original Medicare would have that also because original Medicare or Medicare has at least what Medicare has as well.
Okay. So there's a lot to know. All right, that is all of my questions. Okay, so here is the information for Bea, but you have all her handouts. So
I have my business cards over there.
Yeah.
You're welcome to call me or email me a question. If you have a quick question, I can answer a quick question via email or phone.
Yeah, so I think our key takeaways, there's no plan that's one size fits all. Have an annual review of your health care plan because things change. Unbiased guidance really protects you. And ask questions early before you need it. That's why we're here, to get our plan in place. And then questions for them. Nancy?
Yes, I have a question, not for me, but some of my younger friends are getting to the age that they need Medicare. Who do you suggest that they call to get set up? I happen to just call the Social Security office and got an excellent person who set me up with everything that's been perfect for me. But who do you suggest they call?
Well, you can call me. An independent agent. Okay, if you want someone local here, an independent agent who has multiple lines of coverage, I think that's kind of important. Again, not an Aetna agent, not a Humana agent. A captive agent is not good because you want to be able to see many different plans to have access to that. You want to have someone who can sell supplements and Medicare Advantage because that person's life will change and they may want to go from a sub to Medicare Advantage a little bit later. You want to have that person staying with them for some time. Social Security, I would feel would...
Only just to sign up for Med, you know.
Yeah, they sign up for A and B, but they don't have they're not an agent.
Yeah.
They don't know the rules and everything that the agent would know.
1-800-Medicare is a good resource too. They can help you too answer questions. They're really good. I call them, I have a bat phone number to Medicare. When I call, I get right through and I get an agent. And I get you on the phone too, so we can talk about it all together. I can't talk about you without you there. So I can talk, you know, and solve problems right there while I have you on the phone. And all the Shine counselors have that too. So if you have a question, they can call Medicare with you. You know, God forbid you don't know what plan you have. And a man did, so we got a Medicare, what kind of plan, what man does the man have? You know, so we can see what kind of plan he has now because he lost his card and was unaware. You know, he had a Cigna card in his hand. He's like, no, that in his card. He's telling me in his wallet. I said, that's not. He goes, that's not what I have now. I think I have this. Well, let's find out what you really have. Okay.
And it's all at no cost. Also.
Yes.
No cost.
No cost. And you know, Bill will help you no cost.
Right.
Yeah. Any more questions?
You were saying something about most plans at home health. I'm just asking for an older relative, they can charge them home health, as in they can have someone come in and help them with something.
So long as the doctor writes the order for that to happen, yes ma'am. Yeah.
How much is it, how much care do they usually, are they able to?
It's under 8 hours a day and a total of under 35 hours a week.
For how long?
Medically necessary.
Is there a minimum? Like say somebody needs 1 day a week or 2 days a week, is whatever the doctor
The plans
rates?
really don't specify that.
They don't specify, okay, that's good. Okay, any more questions? Cause I got a lot of announcements. A lot.
Long-term care, does anybody cover long-term care?
So I have one of my counselors that's very good with long-term care. He's a retired attorney, and if you call and you're looking for long-term care answers, or you want him to like give you some suggestions, I usually give you. Each counselor has a different specialty. Anne does appeals and complaints. If you live in Stewart or the Martin County area, John is your guy. So Bob is my attorney, my retired attorney. So I count on him to do those type of things. So yeah, he can get you on the phone, and his counselors spend a couple of hours with you if they need to. They'll call you, they'll email you, send you things. They're amazing. And they do this all.
Okay. Well, I happen to have long-term care insurance, but not everybody does. And tell me about it.
Yeah.
But for I guess I just was looking to see if Medicare had any specific guidance for long-term care or no.
No, not specifically, no.
It's a life insurance policy, essentially, which is not Medicare. It's a private thing. Private companies offer it, they sell it, but it's not a Medicare thing.
And each policy has different.
It's so
things.
different.
Yeah, like this gal that I'm helping, she had that policy, and I'm not an attorney and I'm not a health specialist, but we needed to look at it. So, okay, but I took it and I put it in an AI program that read it for me, and then we could ask it questions.
Oh, cool.
That's how we figured it out. And so then I was able to make a summary of all the things she asked about, and now she has the summary so she can read plain English.
Great.
Yes. So there are some good uses for AI, but they are all different. So right now we're trying to get her the in-home health care because she has a 90-day period
Always.
where after 90 days, after she's paid somebody, but because she's paying $600 a month for that, how can she afford to pay someone to come in for the care she needs? So we're trying to figure out how we're gonna make that happen so that they'll start reimbursing her and then she can stop paying. But if they don't make it easy, let me tell you.
They don't wanna pay.
Yes, we might need your guy.
Yeah, yeah. I have a son-in-law that sells those, and he tells me that people call him when they use their long-term care insurance, and they have all these rules, and he's supposed to tell them you're not eligible. He calls them off his own work phone and tells them how to get payment for it because he feels so bad that these people aren't able to use their plan. I said, Andrew, you're going to lose your job.
Yeah, it's tricky. So, you know, and I didn't know. Oh my God.
I know.
This is so crazy.
It's just a lot of rules for those.
Okay, so any more questions before I get to all these wonderful announcements we have? First of all, our next month, we're going to talk about health and nutrition and living well, right? So we got health insurance, but remember last year in January, we heard from the doctor, he said, your health insurance isn't responsible for your health, you are. So eating well and understanding how to do that. And I want to bring someone in to teach us how to cook when we're just like one person or two people, because I don't cook. I get the gluten-free pizzas at Trader Joe's and eat. That's all I eat. I love to cook, but who's going to cook for themselves? So we're going to get some stuff to get motivated and do that. That'll be next month. And go ahead and register. You all know we have the hotline, we have the website, and those are the best ways to get on the list. Then here at the library, they're having AARP tax aid. So you can come, it's Wednesdays and Fridays in this room from 9 to 12. It's a really good idea to have an appointment, but you need to come here, make the appointment, and then come back. So there's not a number to call, so you have to come visit and get that. Then we're gonna have bingo, Friends of the Library. We're gonna have our bingo on March 17th. We've got lots of great prizes, and that little door back there, we turn the kitchen into the bar. So you get, when you buy your ticket, you get a drink ticket. We're gonna have snacks and drink and play bingo, and it's so much fun. And we will sell out because, as you know, we only have so many chairs here.
March 17th.
That's correct. Yes, and Orlando Puyo is sponsoring some of the stuff for us, so it's really nice. And so is Anytime Plumbing, so a lot of even the local North Palm businesses are getting involved in that. And then, Friends of the Library, we're having our annual meeting. It's going to be March 9th, and Susan Shapiro-Barish is going to be our guest speaker. So we'll have our meeting, and we're going to allocate our funds to the library, and then we're going to have, you know, some refreshments and listen to the author of Maribel Shadow, and she's going to bring some of the books to give away. So, but we need you to sign up because, again, chairs and parking spaces. So there's a QR code. Julie's got a list upstairs if you want to just sign up with that. And that's it. Your ticket out the door is that purple sheet, which it's so small because I didn't realize that when I downloaded it, it was downloaded at legal size, and I tried to print on 8.5 11. So that didn't really work out. But I think we all can do it. So just if you fill those out and then drop them at the table, that would be great. That's how we get better. And make sure you have your email so that my assistant John can send you the invitations and get you signed up, because he's the one who does all that for me. And I thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for inviting us.